Our story begins with Stella at the moment of her birth, and she is born, and her appearance is completely different from any other girl because her hair is split in two. One half is color white and the other half black. And people begin to treat her as if she is different from them, and she becomes a little harsh in her opinions in general, even with her mother. That's why her mother directs her words to her daughter and tells her that there are two personalities in her, Stella and Cruella. And there comes a time she enters school, and her mother tries to make her calm with her classmates. She's always the shy one, and with every problem she causes in school, she gets a mark in her notebook, and it tires her first and only friend Annetta, and she finds a small dog and decides to raise it and names it Buddy. And her problems continue to grow because she does not accept anyone bullying her until the headmaster decides to expel her from the school. But her mother tells the principal that she has decided to transfer her from the school because the school is unsuitable for her daughter's abilities and her genius. And since she will withdraw her from the school, it is not permitted for the principal to write in her file that she was expelled. And her mother does this so that the mark of expulsion won't affect her at any other school. She transfers Stella and her mother to London. And during their travel, her mother has to stop at Hillman Manor to ask for help from an old friend to assist her in their new life in London. But Stella cannot contain her curiosity, and she gets out of the car and manages to enter the party, taking refuge in the cake cart. The party is a fashion show. The owner of the manor on the balcony at the edge of the cliff, and Stella runs toward them until she reaches the terrace and finds that the dogs have left her and ran toward her mother, and she falls from the edge of the cliff, and Stella is the cause of her mother's death. And Stella hears the Baroness accusing her mother and saying that she was blackmailing her and asking her for money for her silence until the dogs came and attacked her. And perhaps the dogs were set on someone else. The dogs return to look for Stella, but she has fled the manor, and her mother's necklace fell from her on the terrace. And Stella stays in the car she escaped in until she reaches London and sleeps beside the fountain she had wished to see with her mother before she had caused her death. She wakes up the next day, and two children are in front of her who work as thieves, Horace and Jasper and their dog Wink. And before she meets them, the police start to chase them, and she keeps fleeing with them instead of going to prison until she enters their hideout, and they manage to escape from the police and get to know each other. After Stella wishes to become a fashion designer, she becomes merely a thief in Jasper's gang. And the first thing she does is dye her hair and completely hide Cruella from existence. And 10 years pass, and Stella grows up, and Horace and Jasper grow up with her, and they become the best gang who steal from people to the degree that they even train their dog Wink to help them succeed in the thefts they commit, and Illa, sick, is responsible for making the disguises they use in the robberies so their faces are not discovered. And despite their success in the operations they do, Stella always felt that there were more important things she wanted to do in her life, and she keeps seeing everywhere around her advertisement for the Baroness's fashion house and for her new winter collection until one day Jasper brings her a birthday present. But she tries to suggest her ideas to her manager and that he could benefit from her ideas in designing clothes. But he continues to ignore her because she is a cleaner, nothing more. Because of her nagging and lack of following instructions, her manager punishes her by making her clean his entire office after official working hours. And she stays sitting alone in the shop after everyone leaves, and she takes the whiskey bottle from her manager's cupboard and drinks it while she walks around the whole shop until she goes to the mannequin in the shop window. Tastes until she falls asleep and wakes the next day, and everyone in the street is watching the display of the dress. And her manager wakes and immediately requests her into his office. And before he takes her to his office, the Baroness herself has arrived at the store on a surprise visit and sees the shop window and immediately asks that the mannequin be made like this. And the manager says that Stella is responsible for all that happened, but he has already fired her from the shop, so the Baroness asks her assistant to give Stella a special card and tell her that they are waiting for her at 6 o'clock at the address on the card and that she has been hired. And she sees the Baroness as she reads the news written about her latest show and that it achieved a great success and that the Baroness is indeed a genius. And she tells them to prepare for the new show and asks Stella to design a new outfit immediately. And the Baroness praises all the outfits before them until she reaches Stella's design, and it appears that it catches her attention, and she takes out her phone and goes in front of Stella and Stella is delighted that her design pleased the Baroness, and she walks in the street and sees that there's a dress that attracted her in a simple shop, and she enters and tries the shop named R, and tells them that they will be friends in the coming period, and leaves and goes to her work, and the Baroness takes her necklace and sees Stella's safe and the way to open it and the key to disable the alarm and lasers. And the key is carried by only one guard. And Stella begins to adjust the designs with the Baroness until one day she sees her mother's necklace on the Baroness and asks about its origin, and the Baroness tells her that this necklace had belonged to her long ago until her maid stole it from her. But she was foolish enough to return home again, and then she fell from the edge of the cliff and died. And she had been blackmailing her, but the matter ended with her death. Roger, the Baroness's lawyer, enters to remind her that they have an important meeting, and Stella sees herself taking the necklace off her neck and putting in a tin with her guard's glue, and it turns out to be the same person her mother was talking with at the manor on the day of her death. Stella returns to her fountain and stays sitting there until she finds Jasper and Horace coming to her, because they know she always sits by the fountain. And she tells them that the Baroness was the woman her mother was talking to the day she died, and decided to return her mother's necklace to her again. And they begin to plot to steal the necklace from the Baroness on the day of her party called the White and Black Party, which will be held at the Baroness's house. The first step is for Stella to know all security procedures and camera locations during the Baroness's 9-minute nap and the locations of the guards.